1 second. What the hell? We shall start very soon. There we go. All right. Let's see here. So let's go through some news. I'll record this here on the Zoom end as well. Thank you. Good morning, everyone that's joining us. What website am I on right now? So good morning, everyone that's joining us. Today is it's Friday, June 21st. It's also OPEX, right? It's quad witch, the quarterly expiration of futures and options, indices, stocks, everything just expires, rollovers, blah, blah, blah. So the rollover started at the beginning of the week for futures. And right now we're trading the U contract for those that don't know. And generally OPEX and quarterly OPEX quad witch is it's known for being a very wonky market, realistically. There's peaks in volatility, there's peaks of just slow movement and nothingness, sideways chop, and then spikes here and there. Not the greatest rhyme or reason, which isn't one of the best days to trade, but I think that if we stay patient enough, we take a look at the auctions and what's going on, there might be something here and there. I'm gonna probably be discussing a few different things around trading throughout this session as we wait and really hone in on the patience for what's going on. I know a lot of traders don't trade this week. I know a lot of traders even don't trade the rollover week, which is this week. So generally speaking, these are higher risk environments, so I'm decreasing size drastically. And on Fridays, I generally decrease size pretty heavily. So I'll be trading micros again today. I don't necessarily want to put on that much risk. Yesterday was great. The day before on Tuesday, I guess, was great. So a solid week, and there's no reason to ruin it on a Friday. Fridays should not ruin your week, and they should not make your week, realistically. So we want to just kind of chill on Fridays. We want to see if the opportunity is there. We want to be patient for it. It's always a grind, right? Like when you're trying to pressure trades, and that's not how it's supposed to be, right? It's not supposed to be easy, but you're trying to just repeatedly do the same stuff over and over again. Keep it boring. Just trade what you have in front of you. So that's pretty much what's going on right now. We'll take a look at some of the news that shaped up. And then we'll take a look at the plans for NASDAQ and the ES today. So generally, fairly interesting dynamics are shaping up with the housing market since the Federal Reserve began to raise interest rates, countering inflation, right? So some of these trends even go further to onset the pandemic period when the central bank dropped the rates at 0 or 2-0 at the same time. People were seeking more space and lifestyle changes that resulted in effects that have led to an increasingly expensive environment for housing and rent, and have even triggered affordability crises across many markets. So, excuse me, there are higher Higher borrowing costs steepened the price of new construction as well. Supply chain disruptions, right? Supply is short due to many real estate investors who have clamored into the sector. Landlords have also raised their rents to keep up with the inflationary environment, and many retiring baby boomers are still living in their homes rather than downsizing or moving to retirement communities. That sounds awful, honestly. But however, one of the biggest cost drivers is called the lock-in effect, where people who locked in ultra low rates before 2022 cannot move between markets or traditional financial changes, which would increase liquidity and free up supply. So there have been many creative solutions to the current state of affairs, some of which are common across Canada, Australia, and parts of Europe and elsewhere. One of them is mortgage assumability, or where new owners of a house assume the mortgage terms of the seller with full coverage of existing equity. And it already happens in the US on a minimal scale with FHA and VA loans. So a more touted remedy is mortgage portability, which permits buyers or sellers to simply port their existing mortgage terms to a new location and could really make a dent for both buyers and sellers of the transaction. So it's not that common in the States. Land ownership in the U.S. is recorded and held at a local level, making things complicated if porting a mortgage to a different state or even to a different county. Another factor is that the majority of mortgages are scrutinized and bundled with other sales, making it difficult to alter the statements and terms, especially if things aren't mitigated by originating premiums and a higher percentage of variable rates or larger down payments. While the appetite for the new solutions, any structural changes to the US mortgage market would likely take place in Congress, as well as revamping entire systems that are currently in place for lenders and investors of mortgage-backed securities, which could be a very difficult task. We remember what happened when they fiddled with them before. So all in all, NVIDIA, right, back in the news. NVIDIA and Canada in the news too, but NVIDIA first and foremost yesterday touted a fairly red day after making record announcements as the biggest market cap in the world, the largest market cap in the world, and had quite the red day. It's gapping down right now, trying to pull even lower. And there's news, right? SoftBank's founder, Masayoshi Son, regrets selling NVIDIA shares 5 years ago, right before the chip giant rode the AI wave to briefly become the world's most valuable company. So SoftBank's Vision Fund sold its entire 4.9% stake of NVIDIA in early 2019, recording a $3.3 billion return, right, on the initial $700 million stake. Now, it's pretty solid. It's a pretty solid return, realistically. I had to tearfully sell the shares, said Sun, at the Japanese investment giant's shareholder meeting, adding, the fish that got away was big. So guess how much it's worth at the current price. Keep in mind, he sold it at 3.3 million, the whole position, after investing 700 million, or sorry, 3.3 billion after investing 700 million. At current prices, that whole position sits at $160 billion based on the current prices. So NVIDIA, the one that got away, it probably got away from most people realistically. Like the expectation of seeing this thing, well, I guess post split the lows in 2022, right? Even if it's like $11, right? Look at it now, 140. So in terms of some of the other news, Canada is planning new levies on Chinese electric vehicle imports in line with the latest actions taken by the US and the EU, while a final decision is yet to be made. The Canadian government is expected to announce public consultation on the potential measures soon. Trudeau has been under pressure to follow the lead of Biden and the administration, which quadrupled tariffs for Chinese EVs, but is moving carefully amid the threat of retaliation by Beijing. Now, this is interesting because in the EU, it seems like, I'm in Europe, I'm in the EU, but it seems like the whole China EV concept isn't as shunned as you might say in the US and more in the West. The Euro Cup in Germany is sponsored by BID or BID, I don't know how to pronounce it, but like a pretty crazy and innovative Chinese EV. So I kind of like the idea, right? They're great. I've seen them. They look way better than Teslas. So that's why they're like, get them the hell out of here, because then Tesla's going to just implode on itself. Now, speaking of the Euros, drop some favorites. some big games tonight. Going to the National Stadium here in Sofia. They're showing games there, so it's going to be a good evening. So let's take a look at some of these equities. Why not? And then we'll put Boxy on. He'll do some oil. But with the equity market yesterday, a large downside move into the afternoon, right? So pretty good stuff. We entered the distribution that starts around that 60 and comes down into that low 40. Right now, new volumes getting created after we had this unfinished auction down here. So realistically, what's going on? There's decent resistance into that like low to mid 40 to hold out distributions to potentially clean the auction that brings us down to 15. There is still bearish structure and a bearish auction that's happening right now in these markets. Like it's still fairly on the sell side into this like 53 to like 60 area. I'm not going to sell this whole way up, but like if they continuously hold, they're still holding this low 40 right now. They're putting downside pressure on this, which is good. But again, OPEX, I got to be super, super patient. I kind of just want to see this thing pull down so I can just pick it back up at better levels, close to 55, 17, 15. But we'll see how that shapes up. It gets a little choppy in these areas because if we start bidding above that 42, then you have the acceptance of the balance higher, which would put me in more of a bullish position. So right now, bear case scenario, we hold 42 to 45. They reoffer it, they sell it, and we start pulling a bit lower realistically. We trade down into that mid 30. We trade potentially we have to break under that mid 20 and then start dumping into that 15. That would be the bear case scenario today. We're in current bear structure. The continuation is as. So if anything changes, right, I want to keep an eye on that. But a general pivot on the day is into these low to mid 40s. You can see even from a price action perspective, they're kind of holding out these regions. They're just like flip-flopping around it. We take a look at Delta here very quickly. You have yesterday you had a lot of buildup of all this negative delta into the lows. Well, the morning lows of that session, they just kept hitting them at the bid trading, right? Reoffer, and eventually this broke down. So realistically, this is going to be a massive, massive area where the sell pressure wants to reinvent itself if it gets into that region. So I'll be watching this area where there's some decent delta that's imbalanced from yesterday as well into that like mid to low 40, but right now after that downside press, we didn't continue the wave too much on the overnight session. They pretty much held yesterday's lows. So it's something to take into consideration. If we see a pop, right, I want to see if the sellers want to appear into that like higher 50 again to hold out the top of that distribution as the final chance to continue the current momentum that we're in. If we take a look at NASDAQ, we take a look at NASDAQ. Where do I put this? We take a look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ showed decent weakness into yesterday's session. What we did was we broke under that 120, which is a pivotal area. You can see right here, we have the start of a distribution leg that sits at 0.90, we can call it. So that's an immediate resistance. If they move back up, I'd be targeting into that 160. But right now they're holding this current distribution that they're trading. You have 20K, which is a big just like psych level, and then 950, which is important. You break 950, 900s on tabs, a 50-point move, and anything under that, I think we have a significant sell. So both markets currently, the auction is to the sell side realistically. And to continue those moves, I'd want to see them offer on the SPOOs at like mid-low 40s. On the NASDAQ, realistically, if we can actually start offering under 0.20, for example, that would hold out this downside momentum move. There's currently a bit more weakness on the SPOOs. As long as NASDAQ holds 0.90 and it like fails to go and clean yesterday's auction, that'd be good for the sell side. So I'll answer some questions after we put Steven on here. We'll see what's cooking there. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Lisa and Michael. Fish Eyes on YouTube. Welcome. I'll take questions in just a bit. Let's just go over some of the other stuff here and get ready for the day.
Good morning, Victoria. Good morning,
Victoria. I was responding, but apparently I was on mute. I was good. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Perfect.
You know,
Ready
did you
for
see did you see the Canada Argentina game last night?
I did it, man. It was at 3 a.m. for me.
I was here. I was in
It,
Atlanta.
oh, no way.
Yeah, I was at Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah, it was so late. Like I wanted to, but 3 a.m. I was like, okay, that's a little aggressive.
Yeah, yeah. Might be a little too much there.
Yeah. First time they're in Copa America. They didn't do so well the first game, but that's life, I
Well,
guess.
I mean, it was Argentina and Messi, so you
Yeah,
know,
you're right.
they were. I mean, it was the downtown was crazy.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
well, yeah, if Messi was there, like
Argentina fans were all down there. They were around his hotel. They were like banging on drums, and it was
what's
just
the capacity of the stadium?
80,000.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah,
It
crazy.
was sold out.
Not bad. Good stuff. Well, you ready for a OPEX?
Yeah, I am. I need for you to release the screen so I can
Oh,
share.
that is true.
There you go. All right. Well, good morning, Victorio. Good morning, Trade Pro Academy. All market is fairly flat for the most part. We opened up about 30 cents higher than we opened yesterday. Um, Looks like we're fairly low on volume for this time in the contract cycle. But you know, we caught our open at 81.39. The pivot's down at 81.05. We've got the VWAP sitting at the 81.33. We put in a Globex high of 81.62. So we're just kind of floating sideways with a little bit of an upward momentum. Trend traders, your trends are green because we have been coming up since just before the open. So um, just scouting a place to get long. And we'll watch it and trade it and let you know what's up. Victorio, back to you.
Perfect. We've pretty much covered these equities. If you guys have any questions, just waiting for Fatty to come in, post some analysis on like in Discord as well to have this in plain sight. But let me just see here. Oh, here he is. Perfect.
Good morning,
Fatty.
Vic. Good morning, Steven. Morning, everyone.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good stuff. Ready
What do you think?
for ready for
Another buy
ideally
day?
nothing.
We shall see, man. I hope not. Let's see.
Yeah, I think like honestly, I would like to see them like pull it lower for me to buy, but if it goes up, fine.
Yeah, I'd like to see a pullback too, honestly. Try to get on the long. 160 on the daily volume. Uh,
We'll see how this rolls out today. But OPEX,
yeah, yeah. PMI 945 as well. Existing home sales at 10. Let's see how that news impacts the market. What main pivot do you have, Vic? What is the level that you're long above or short
like
below
it's like
here?
42, 44 on the SPOOs. On like NASDAQ, it's kind of like 0.80, 0.90. Let me just do one more thing, and I'll take a look at what you guys have been saying. Oh, so how'd you miss all the fun? You came at the worst moment. OPEX. If you guys have any questions, let me know as we get ready for this market. It's about to open in like 7 minutes, we can say. Just want to wait and see pretty much approach. Like we have the plan, we have the ideas. If we get a decent sell, I might just open some 0-day calls or maybe some swings actually. I'm not gonna do anything pre-market. No positions pre-market. Sweaty as ever. 1,000,000,000 degrees.
Jeez.
Like it's 35 right now, Celsius. And it feels like it's like hotter in this room too, because like this room's faces the sun throughout the day, and it just like I put like blinds up and whatever. It doesn't help that much. So I gotta keep one of these or a few of these windows open, otherwise we'll be dead. It's like leaving like a dog in the car.
Oh, good.
I have a choice.
Terrific.
Like anti air conditioning here. It's like, no, you're sick. Everyone will die of pneumonia. Like, all right, calm down. I don't know if this is like true or not, but like, do warm beverages like help you cool down?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
You're the one
Usually
that
cool beverages help you with that.
in theory, yes, anecdotally they do. Huh. Well, they're big tea and coffee drinkers in Egypt, I think, no?
Yeah, absolutely. Because they need caffeine, not because they use it to cope with heat. With that, but yeah.
Kind of raise your body temp so the difference between your skin temp and the ambient temp makes it feel cooler. Do if you wear a silk undergarment. That'll make it worse. Jeez, okay, well, I'm getting like maybe probably does, but it might not.
What do you get your caffeine source, Vic? You
I
get
don't really
like
drink that much.
straight
Like,
coffee?
I don't really do that much caffeine. Do it like it's injected. Nah, I kind of I only drink coffee when it's like I can like sit at a cafe and just like do nothing or like talk for like 2 hours, like the real European way. A cool beer is better. Yeah, I agree. Zahaj, I'm in a house that was built in 1963. There's no centralized AC.
Yikes.
Like my hands are so sweaty right now. I'll like slip, grab the mouse, slip, click the wrong side, instant stop.
Oops. Oops, straight.
Oops, down.
Mhm.
Market open under 2 minutes. We've got some news events too today. Let me see.
9:45 and 10 PMI and existing home sales. Like
Okay,
the rest are after the
little red
what's
events, little orange event. Selling from that pivotal area right now. Nothing on it. Right before the market opens. Decent sell pressure coming out.
I know.
Nasdaq not really selling. S&P just dumped a lot. Here is the open. All
Nasdaq
right.
pushing down now too. Just
Yes.
took a moment to catch up with this pose.
Already volatility starting to press here. A lot. Oh, it's the big size trading. Wow. A
Yeah.
lot of sell pressure off the open. Nasdaq taking a decent hit now. SPOO's getting offered very heavily. The very big size coming in on this. Let's see. SPOO's at an interesting area from yesterday. Downside pressure persists here. A lot of selling. A lot of selling on this DOM on NAS, kind of getting stuck into like 990. Let's see. First minute off the open. Looking at this NAS a lot here, like they're getting absorbed into the sell side into these 990s. Nice little pop here. Give us some time off this open. We're in a like sell structure right now, sell auction. People getting stuck into lows. And be careful with these buyers. The way the sell opened up off the open pre-market as well.
Yeah, it does seem like the sellers have more activity as far as price action and momentum. So like we still like honestly, when I look at these like volume profiles, you're still holding at the low end of the distribution. So if you want to sell, you either wait for a retrace to the top or a break of that bottom. They both look like a range, it's just the sell-offs are more intense.
Yeah, so far this open. No, still holding into those 990s.
Where would I want to sell Nasdaq? Like 35, 40.
Yeah. You see between 25 and 30-ish, there's a lot of like negative delta from the overnight. Let's see. I got pretty stuck into 990 on NAS into this push lower though.
Yeah, I just seen that like a lot of delta accumulated there.
Morning, everyone that's joining us. See what these spoos do. They've taken back a lot of the sell that came in right off the open. Nasdaq like 080 main area. Like it's pretty far right now, but they're holding the 020s right now.
Yeah. Should do a short here. It just feels early.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give it some
There's
time.
a better level. There's a better level up there, so.
Watching the spoos try to catch a desperate bid here. They're getting trapped into 37 on the spoos. Might try and open up some of these shorts here. I don't know. If it just one touches me, then it's fantastic. It's a little before the area, but they're getting a little stuck on the long. It's gonna give me PTSD of yesterday's no fill day. Missed like 3 fills yesterday. No. I just gotta let that go. Yeah, we got some news as well coming out. NASDAQ making new lows. You can see it's getting jumpy here. Like this is an OPEX. OPEX type situation. I missed that fill on the short on these spoos.
I have the short spoos.
Oh, good one.
36 fill.
In front line at me.
Didn't mean to. NASDAQ touches the lows, rebounds. I wanna sell NASDAQ, honestly. Just where I tried to fill 220 down there, it didn't fill. I dragged it down to 16, didn't fill. Felt like I'm chasing, and it's just.
Oh wait, let's keep hold of patience today.
Just so you're aware, for American Airlines, AAL has probably suspended training for new pilots through year end, according to Bloomberg.
Both these markets right now. Looking like a breakdown's about to happen here. Oi, 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 oi. This is the movement's very weird right now. $37 Philly, son of a bitch. These are coming in on the reoffer pretty nicely every freaking time. Triple F, front running fatty.
That's funny. Front running a thing.
1 minute now until we're on the lookout for the S&P.
There's a lot of sell pressure here.
Flash PMI.
Ideally, out of this news, they just like rebid it and then they find an offer somewhere so I can just nuke this. There's a lot of selling going on.
Yeah.
Lower expectations
Careful if you have a
from
trade to PMI, it gets jumpy.
2.7.
It's already jumpy. Yeah.
Already seeing these DOMs just like vanish. Orders on NAS are like non-existent. Look at this Spoos
10
DOM
seconds.
thin. Hey,
Manufacturing 51.7 beat, services 55.1, also beating expectations. Composite rises
in my head.
55. The manufacturing flash PMI there for June in the US comes in above expectations, rising to 51.7 from 51.3, beating the 51.0 forecast. Services that rises to 55.1 from 54.8, above the expected decline of 53.7. That also comes in above all analyst forecasts to bear in mind. And also the composite that does tick up 54.6 from 54.5.
Just shaking my head in disappointment in myself.
We can one off here, 21s. Let one run on Spoos.
And the hawkish reaction seen in markets here, seen upside in the dollar, downside in C notes, and also downside in stocks as well. Like of this hotter than expected data from the US.
19s trade on this thing, on the Spoos. Not 17. $960 gets trapped on NAS.
Just have a look into the report. It does look the PMI is running at a level broadly consistent with the economy, growing at an annualized rate of just under 2.5%.
NAS getting trapped here.
So just slows, yeah.
Just have to keep an eye on dollar yen after this data. Dollar yen just rising back above 159. Going back to the data, it does note that selling price inflation has meanwhile cooled again after ticking higher in May, down to one of the lowest levels seen over the past 4 years.
I'll watch like 32.
Brings the survey's price gauge into line with the Fed's 2% inflation target. Just some commentary there on the S&P Global Manufacturing PMI. When it comes to PMI, just noting selling price inflation has meanwhile cooled again after ticking higher in May, down to one of the lowest levels seen over the past 4 years. And the latest decline brings the survey's price gauge into line with the Fed's 2% inflation target. Meanwhile, unemployment survey also brings welcome news in terms of job gains, with renewed appetite to hire being driven by improved business optimism about the outlook. And just a bit further, it does know that manufacturers commonly report.
Start filling some longs on NASDAQ, honestly.
Into this also lengthening
660 area, 663s.
Some supply chain pressures, while wage growth remained a major driver of higher costs in the service sector.
Nasdaq looking a little trapped here. This is a fade, obviously. Nasdaq looking a bit weaker. What's NVIDIA up to? Oh, selling. Fantastic. Nasdaq's weaker here, unfortunately. Let's see if they can actually get stuck and rebid this 960. Otherwise, I get taken out of this.
I look for that, like, to get long right now. Is I'm focused on that big negative delta, seeing if like we can pop and bid.
A lot of selling happening here into this area at the lows on Nas. Spoos whistled up. Might have to short these spoos. Yeah, Nas is taking a beat down right now. I'm taking out on this. It looked good for a bit, but
Existing home sales
sell rally type days.
Down from the 4.1.
On the spoos, I would have liked to see like 32 area.
Also be on the lookout for the leading index change from May, expected at negative 0.3% from the prior negative 0.6%.
Nas getting beat down. I don't want to chase these spoos, do it.
Let's keep an eye on the dollar after that data. You did see a session high of 105.89. Bear in mind that does match the 2nd of May peak. Any levels above that, so we're really looking towards 106 to the upside.
I'll take one more long on NASDAQ in this 930 area with a 15-point stop though. You guys are really selling shit out of this. Missed that long on, I mean, missed that short on the spoos.
Keep an eye on the move in the empty space, just pushing to session lows tier. Just worth noting the video, just extending on losses seen yesterday, now down by about 4.9% on the session.
Pops from here.
Really weighing on the S&P and NASDAQ here. NASDAQ underperforming.
NASDAQ's getting hit hard and he's probably selling super hard.
Trying the 920 on NASDAQ long.
Yeah, I might have been early on that. I was indeed early on that long.
Early or not, I hope we're right. It's not out of the park yet, it just rotated.
Yeah, it's true. We got another news event in about like 6 minutes.
Yeah.
The sell pressure is just like dump it on this. Miss that freaking short on spoos and I'm over here crying. I don't really want to sell lows on this. Nvidia down 2 days in a row, recession begins. I don't think it's like oversold. I'm just like looking at NAS and like they looked a little trapped into some of these lows on the sell side, so I tried it long. I don't like the idea of like, oh, it's gone down way too much. It has to turn here, right? Like they keep selling it. They keep selling this thing. You could be basing out a little at this 920. Might have jumped the gun on that long with the NAS.
Oh no, man, I'm getting skeptical. It's just like it's range at a support pre-news. After the news comes out, it's gonna be a move, maybe a liquidity sweep. Then, yeah, it's just the market puts you in a shitty position, you know. It does bounce, like when it touches 920 at least. The last couple of times it did. I like it the way that they come in and hold that bid around 920. Like the accumulation of delta. I like that. I'm not selling at lows. I'm shorting at a reversal from a previous ledge. It's a good trade. It's just the outcome is gonna be based on news. Yay. Yay.
Yeah, no. It's a touchy thing. Like they're holding it pretty well, getting actually a little more trapped. They need to rebid through this like 940, and I think we're good to go.
The cabinets.
I'm puck out of the entry area for news, so I can at least feel some comfort, you know.
Yeah.
That French, like,
I don't know. This is my third attempt long on Nasdaq. I might just like take some of this shit off.
it's really a good call. Victorio Stefanov.
News is the deciding factor here.
Good long, Victoria. Good call, bro.
I just had to get it taken out by like 3 ticks before trying to jab it again.
1 minute now until the top of the hour. Looking up the existing home sales data from the US for the month of May. Expected at 4.1 million, down from 4.14 million. Was looking out for the US leading index change month over month for May. Expected at negative 0.3% from the prior negative 0.6%.
Let's see what this news looks like here. Poor or rich?
For Spotify SPOT, Spotify Tech is offering more options for eligible US subscribers.
Over the bridge or back under the bridge?
It stops at break even.
On Nasdaq? Going
Yeah.
break even on Nas? Okay. I like that. I like that, Victorio.
I can't give up this profit.
That's good. That's good. I love it. Trauma shapes things. I love
Just in case it's 4 seconds, we're trading 100 points lower.
it. Yeah.
4.11 million, 4.11 million. Better than the expected 4.1 million, but still down from the prior 4.14 million.
Nice. News doesn't.
Negative 0.5%, a bit worse than the expected
Let's
negative
go.
0.3%, but does rise from the prior negative 0.6. Again, US and existing home sales there, 4.11 million, shooting for 4.10 million, does ease a touch from the 4.14 million in the month beforehand. And look at the inventory home for sales, 1.28 million.
Just gotta get skeptical around this like 975 and like ES is into like 33 right now, 32.
$19,300 does rise 5.8% year over year.
Yeah, and VS saying stops at break even, trying to run this into new all-time highs. $980, $975 is a pretty tough spot. Like I'm honestly gonna try and short these spoos into this area. Like it looks pretty good. Into that like 31, 32. If I miss this on the spoos, like I'm done on the day. Let's consolidate some of these stops.
I flattened that 920 long. I don't like what I seen at 75. I might have gotten out earlier. But like, I don't know. With a good trade, man, no complaints. 20 to 70. Like shorting spoos makes me feel happier too.
To flatten it.
Let's go.
Let's see though. I gotta get under this 29 on the spoos. They're trying to sell here, but continuation's a little spooky on this. There's something they got to re-up for this 28 area on the spoos. $400 on the bid, getting offered, not bad. Hmm. 27's trying to offer now. Freaking jumpy here, dude.
Yeah, man. Nasdaq keeps making this like dance, like it rejected the 70s, now trying to get picked up back up at the mid 50s. If you're short spoos, it's like just hold, clench your hands or something. Dude. I tried the short on Nasdaq and spoos,
Oh, yeah.
and yeah, and it feels like over leverage at the moment. Yeah,
The the E mini Nasdaq is officially too old for Leonardo DiCaprio, 25 years old. Another question: how do I feel about consolidating ticks on NQ? I don't really do it because I like to just see like tick by tick. To be honest, I like to see like where like heavy offers are, heavy bids are, like where the delta kind of stacks up on a tick by tick basis. I don't love this rebid from here.
no.
There's like a slight change in how these buyers are trying to attack this market, which I don't love. $28, just they can't hold an offer under it. The sellers are still trying to hold this out, but like they kind of just run away once you hit 27, 28 on the spoos.
I'm watching Nasdaq. If you can't punch below 48 on this push, I'm just gonna flare in it and gotta just focus on managing those pools because this feels like over leverage and the sellers are really holding their defenses, you know. It's not looking good.
Prayer circle in full activation mode.
In geopolitics, US imposes fresh Russia-related sanctions according to the Treasury Department, so on the lookout for specifics.
Nasdaq use. uh,
Jimmy trying to wake up, not happy with what Timmy's done over the past few days.
yeah.
Yeah, love the way that this is going right now.
So again, it's on the lookout for these Russia-related sanctions, but just for some context, it's just worth noting that throughout the day today, the spot palladium has been rising. It is up over 6% at the moment or so. And just something to bear in mind as we look out for the details of these fresh Russia-related sanctions.
Nasdaq back to my entry on the short. This is exactly what I mentioned. That I would flare in. I haven't.
The hope
I
entry.
mean, yeah. Incapable.
What the hell kind of consolidation is this? What's going on right now? Second I enter a trade, it just like starts flatlining. I don't love that. I don't love that at all. Bad thing is they're trying to sell larger quantities now and they're just bidding it back
And
up.
they're betting, yeah.
I think it was a little
But just
little
going back to the Russia
late on the trend here after missing that 37 short.
at the Treasury website, also like a bunch of individuals have been sanctioned. We'll post a link on the board.
If this is a head fake, they're like flipping the momentum a decent bit right now for the buy side coming in. Not as long. I'm just long. Not as short spoos. This is a mess. I'm fully out of that spoos. I think I was just late on that trend move, honestly. Like once I came down to that 28 and just rebid several times, it wasn't looking too sexy for me. Strong bids going on. I'm not opposed to shorting this again, but the momentum's coming in on the buy side pretty heavily. Let's see if they hold any kind of offering here on spoos. Like every time a large seller comes in, they're not really letting him do his thing.
Oh, selling kind of got washed away. You know, they made an initial push. Buyers picked it up at 90 on as 20s on the spoos, and yeah, just haven't seen those sellers again. Right now, you're back into those 34, 35s, and
I'll
on
do
the
one more
S&P,
shot on this.
the sorts.
See if I can fill these. There's those 35s, and that is it. And that is it. Don't get me wrong, there's buy Bomo right now. The order flow is flipped. This is the last shot that they have. Well, actually, around like 42 probably, but I saw a decent offer there. I know around this area here, I probably gotta get rid of something if it comes down to that 30. Just don't love how these like continued offers are kind of
Ahead of
failing.
the EIA nat gas figures, just worth noting this piece by Reuters, noting that the amount of natural gas flowing to US LNG gas firm Cheniere Energy's Sabine Pass export plant in Louisiana was on track to drop to an 11-month low on Friday, that's according to data from financial firm LSEG. The piece notes that reductions at Sabine and other US LNG export plants have often had major impact on global gas prices.
I see an offer here on the spoos. I'll
Next up
jump
on
on the
the
short
screen,
one more time right now.
the nat gas. So this is a delayed release on account of the Juneteenth holiday in the US earlier this week. Nonetheless, the metric is forecast a build of 69 BCF, previously a build of 70.
Like every time a seller comes in, they're freaking eating them up though. That's the only issue.
Yeah.
They're trying to sell, they're just using it as liquidity.
Let's trade 36 short.
They do it under this 33. The 33 is the U28, these bastards. Well, throw in a decent sell at that area and then just like pick it back up.
Yeah.
Then you have this like the clustering of deltas starting from 32. Ay, 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 ay. Heavy offers trying to come in at that big delta area.
Yeah. We're trying to bet into 32s.
Doing like 3-point moves on these. Da, 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 da. That's what happens when you miss that prime first short.
Geopolitics, Taiwan's defense ministry detected 30 Chinese military aircrafts flying near Taiwan on Friday evening.
I'm out of half of these. So this stops a break even here.
And just for some context, in the session, we did see China officially defining behavior aimed at Taiwanese independence as a criminal act punishable by death.
Is either there's any kind of continuation here because like you remember 28, 29 is like a huge region where these butt heads just held on the bid and just absorbed the sell pressure. Like, look, they just rebid the shit out of this right now.
No.
Like right now, the flow is still holding on the bull side. This could just be like a minor pullback before they just swing this to the freaking skies. But I'm on the short, seeing if we can break down because they break that like 28 area, like you're gonna get a decent move. But the flow is pretty bullish right now. Nasdaq holds its stupid like 960 or whatever it was.
Uh,
I know. I know.
Maybe. Mhm.
200 on the offer. Damage right now.
Feel like it's just gonna jump into 35, 36, stop me, then keep going.
No, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, right.
Freaking OPEX.
Nice, 200 on the solo. Yay, give them pain.
You just keep wanting to hold around this stupid 32, man. I thought they could have had it on that offer that dumped lower, but
Yeah. I think everybody that was just short from above was like, oh, let me take profit. That's why you're
yeah.
seeing that bit. Because like there's just a lot of targets to the downside. So like this is the first clear target to take profit. I like it. I just feel like I moved to break even maybe a little early. And yeah, let's see.
This 30 area is just such a pain in the ass.
And as a reminder, just coming up to a minute now until we get the weekly EIA net gas change forecast at 69 BCF, previously 74 BCF.
These guys trying to hold a bid here. Nas trying to hold above this like 950 area.
10 seconds. Build 71, build 71 more than the expected of 69. That was for the weekly EIA net gas change.
Why did these move so much? What's going on? I forget. I might just take two more here.
Yeah, if you have something, log them in. Nice, nice, nice. Keep selling, baby.
Son of a bitch is gonna make me do this. Like when these guys offer it down there, like just like big selling, and then they don't continue the leg. Like I just had to take more off. This is a pain in the ass. Some trend movement. This is.
You gonna put up the early exit?
Yeah, sure.
June23 from Exxon XOM. Some chemical manufacturing units, including steam cracker, halted at French Port Jerome refinery due to strikes. Refining operations at Port Jerome site unaffected by the strike, Exxon says.
This OPEX is playing games with me. You just got like all this like negative delta stacked into this like 29, 30. That's like a good area to be cutting, and then you just pray for the offer under 28. They come back at it again, and then they're they see like 28, they're like, oh, perfect.
This is their lucky number.
Like Fuddy at the casino.
Yeah. Yep.
Still trying to hold, but it's not like before. Just staring at this dome. Big seller again at the 28, and they just oh. I don't know who's sitting at 28. Jimmy?
Look, I just want to be a long, but I'm short instead. It's like I'm not convinced with the side that I'm on, honestly. That it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll fight on this. I tightened the stop too much, but like I'm okay with that.
Like look, like it's still like this dom is pretty bullish. You saw them trying to come into 28. They sell, they just rebid the shit out of this. They've they flipped it, but it's like it's also OPEX, so who the hell knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a nasty consolidative period. How many monitors do I trade with? 2. I've got 2. What are signs, indications that order flow is flipped bearish, bullish? Order flow flips like based on the DOM realistically, what the reactivity looks like. Like for example, like right now, yeah, I like the bearish side because like we came into we're structurally we're bearish. And we came into a decent area. I saw some offers, but like they're just really struggling. And if they can't break new lows here, then like if we make a higher low somewhere here and they just like run it back up, there's signs right now that like every time you see these guys try to sell it, they're like trying to spike it back up. So like the reactions on the buy side are still trying to hold out, which is a little daunting to me. But it's also OPEX, so it's not like the easiest read right now. But boy, do I have a bunch of videos for you on the website. Just go and look into the resources. There's videos of like bullish, bearish flips, like reading the DOM in that way. There's a lot, yeah. You're also in an area where like you have a lot of imbalances clustered on these deltas, which isn't like ideal to trade in. And you're like fucking Atlas buying 28. Back in the 28. Fantastic. My God. It's like freaking clockwork.
Yeah. This one will be one of those ones that you wait for, Vic. Well, I think you have it, bro. I tightened too much. I guess I didn't want to take the risk or maybe miss executing, but I think they'll get it. They just like there's a lot of buying pent up into this. The selling comes in on cue though, so
Yeah,
it's one of those like hold and hope and wait.
the old prayer circle. We've
Yeah.
done good with the prayer circle today.
No, it was some really good trades today. The long Nasdaq 20 is like short spoos earlier. It's just I made a mistake of like over leveraging on one of these shorts. I'm okay with that. I also took the profit on that last short, 36 too early, got out too early. Could have maybe left some, but like it's still a good day, honestly.
Man, this 28, this can't be serious. This can't be real. This is some kind of sick joke at 28. For what?
What's against you now, Rico? You take all your money today, bro, and you go to the casino and you put it on. That's how it's done. You take that, you take those signs and you make them applicable. Just
I
take
gotta hit 28.
put that risk somewhere else.
Just a bit of weather-related news here from the NHC. It says that there's a 60% chance of a cyclone in the next 48 hours for the system, which is located around 120 miles east of Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, wow.
Wow, cyclone warning. Nasdaq holding within a range, the equivalent of the 28 on Nasdaq is pretty much between 48 and 52. Just doing the same dance Spooz is doing pretty much, just in a wider range between 72, 75 as the upper end and 48 to 52. You can be getting long like down there in the low high 40s or selling 72. It's just I feel like by the time I looked at it, it already made like 3 moves into this region. And now we have a big buyer stepping in at the top of Nasdaq 72.
28.
See, this number is gonna haunt Vic in his dreams tonight.
What do you think about fucking 28? Yeah, like the buy side's just ripping through this. It's probably a start of a continued move higher. Like, look at all this sellers trying to come in and just absolutely doing nothing. leaves me with one.
Decent selling and it's coming in on NASDAQ here. Vic, you're still short, right? Hanging on that short.
One left, but I think it's gonna get. It's life. I had chances to just flatten the whole thing at 28, but I just wanted to see if we could actually break it. That thing was a massive barrier, right? Like you guys saw that 28s, they come in, there you go. Now. So they came into that 28 area continuously and like selling large quantities, immediate rebid. Should just flip there. This bid has to just fly higher now. Still long some NAS. My God, this was hard.
I know. It's like you're just hanging by a thread on the like not the wrong side, but I guess the side that was losing for so long is just draining. You wait so
Yeah.
long to take something at break even, and you could have took it like at +10, +5, and
Well, it
fucking
took like
one of the worst feelings ever.
yeah. Like at least I took 9 lots off. Like I get it.
I know. You took most off, which is great.
They should fly higher. It's just for me, it's very hard to like if I'm already in the short, it's very hard for me to just like reverse the whole thing. But like they're on the right side on that buy side. Like the order flow is bullish.
Isn't that funny that we know the right side when we are on the wrong side of the trade?
I like that short, you know what? But then like
Yeah.
once the flow started coming in, they just started holding 28. So I was like, ay.
Yeah, no, I love that short structurally. It was the right level. Previously, they sold it with order flow. It's just, as you said, like towards the end, once you're in that short and like you see the punches rolling through, you're like, huh, I favor the buyers. It's just that today's wonky, man. Today that movement is just so like,
Well, it is quad witch.
Yeah.
which is hard to trade. Should I do the pull, Vic?
Yeah, sure. Well, stop the stream here on YouTube. We're gonna wrap it up for the day. This is a hard day, a freaking hard day here. Honestly, like I missed that early short into that 37. Fatty caught the 36. I should have just gotten a little more aggressive, but like after that, I feel like I just would have been done, or maybe tried the longs on the spoos with the Nasdaq. But quad witch, what can I say? I came out fine, but reduced size drastically, and I'm okay with that. It little more trades than I would have wanted to on a Friday to wrap it up, but still did okay here and wrapping it up on a positive note. So thanks for everyone that joined.